So now what do I do? Well, I guess there's only one thing. There's something I'd like to know. Are you real? Can you feel?
Hi friends, I'm Prairie Vintage. My name is Linda. I'm an energy intuitive reader here on YouTube. I use spirits, my intuition, the tarot to communicate energies to you guys, amazing viewers. If you guys are new here, welcome to my channel. I'm glad you found me. I hope that this reading resonates for you and that you guys stay, subscribe, like, and find this information useful, helpful, healing for you. And for those of you guys who are returning, I'm so grateful to be here. I'm so blessed to do your reading again. I can't wait to see what it is that pulls through for you guys today. This will be a pick an option, pick a card reading. I'll get into our three options shortly, but first, these are the decks I'll be using for today's reading. I'll put a link right here to those of you guys who are interested in the cards in these decks. If you're wanting to energetically charge these cards for future readings, or you're just curious to see what the decks are all about, I do have a playlist where you can go take a look at that. All right, so today's reading, we'll be asking Spirit what it is you need to know in regards to your current circumstance, situation, what you've got going on in your world. It does seem to be pulling through more of the practical aspect with these cards. Okay, so it could be direct guidance in your current situation. It could just be something Spirit is wanting you to remember or bring to your attention. Whatever it is that Spirit is thinking that is most relevant to you at this time, we'll pull through this reading. Okay, now this is a timeless reading, meaning whenever you click on this video, even if it's months, years after I've posted it, it's okay. It's still relevant as long as it resonates for you. Okay, if the reading does not seem to be resonating or feels like old energy, then go check out another pile. You could come back, revisit this many years later, and a different pile sort of makes sense to you. Okay, so utilize it however you see fit for your world, but do not force the message to be your story just because that's what you clicked on. Okay, so I'll remove the decks. We'll get into our three options for today's reading, and I will see you guys in that segment. Option number one, we have this hand right here. All right, well, I'll show you the back side too. All right, option number three, we have this wooden person right here. All right, option number three, and we have the metal couple, his and hers. All right, apologize if you guys hear yard stuff outside, which is very fitting because we're getting into the audio part of this section. So yeah, let's get into, for the Clairaudient folks who want to tap into sound for your picks, I will pause the video and then I'll be right back with your sound portion. Pile number one for the hand, here's your sound. All right. Pile number 2 for the wooden person. Here's your sound. All right, option number 3 for the metal couple. Here's your sound. All right, so I'll let the video run for a bit. Take as long as you need. And when you feel ready, select from the timestamp below, and I will see you guys at your pick. Pile number 1. I apologize if you hear the lawn maintenance in the background. So you pick the hand. I couldn't help but feel like something about boundaries was coming through with the hand, or stopping to do something, or I don't know. Maybe it's taking action on something, or feeling like you can do something is coming through. Maybe something you couldn't do before. Yeah, maybe not necessarily stopping, but starting something, or start to stop doing something that maybe you've let go on. Okay, something like this is coming through with this hand. Okay, so let's take a look at what it is that Spirit wants you to know. Right here, right now, I have pre-shuffled oracle cards with the decks that I showed at the beginning portion. And then we have the Lenormand deck, and we'll pull this together. Okay, I haven't done a Lenormand reading in a while. I think we'll pull a few from this deck here, but let's take a look at what is pulling through for pile 1 here in regards to what you're being called to sit with energetically here, or being brought to your attention. Okay, so we have the peacock. That's beautiful. Peacocks are all about self-expression, being seen, beauty. Peacocks can also talk about protection, so boundary thing comes up again. Okay, 30. This peacock has a bunch of roses on it. And then we have resolution. Whatever it is that you've been struggling with is about to be resolved. Remember that resolution doesn't always happen in the way we hope or want, but being able to move forward and start fresh always brings relief. So it does seem to be a change for you. You know, I was feeling with the hand. So maybe you're able to find some form of resolution and stick to it. It looks like a crossroads here, maybe an indecision, or yeah, like sitting at a crossroads, feeling maybe immobilized to choose or do something different. And it's like, what do I do? Okay. And then we have this dove with the Ace of Clubs. This is the Ace of Wands. Now, in this deck, though, the meanings are a little bit different. Okay, and it was coming through reversed. So I think I will be taking into consideration whatever the book does say here for the meaning. Okay, but doves do talk about peace. And the Ace of Wands talks about inspiration. But in the reverse, it could be, I don't know, like what I'm getting intuitively, which probably has nothing to do with what we read here, although I will take this into consideration as well as what I'm picking up. Ace of Wands could be the inspired action we're taking where we weren't motivated to do something maybe, and it comes upon us. Okay, and that might bring about peace of mind. Some resolution brings peace with the dove. Okay, maybe it's even offering like an olive branch or offering some form of forgiveness with the dove here, maybe being extended to you. Okay, and it might involve some form of boundary, like I said, because it's like to protect our peace. You know, we have to put up some form of decision or do something in order to protect our peace or boundary. But there does seem to be some inspired action. I could be tapping into two energies, like I said, because if one is receiving, so there's another energy sort of giving, you know. Let's see, what is this Ace of Clubs here about? What does the author talk about here? So it says Ace of Clubs with the dove. In Christian Appalachia, the dove is held sacred as the earthly embodiment of the Holy Ghost and is considered the one animal the devil cannot shapeshift into. Oh, wow. See, truth cannot be distorted, okay? I mean, they could try to cast illusions, but the truth's the truth. Okay, as such, it is 7 years of bad luck to kill a dove. Much like the solitary journeys, I just saw 7 pentacles in my mind. But anyway, much like the solitary journeys taken in the scripture, under the spirit, the Ace of Clubs shows solitude, whether being alone or lonely. Likewise, the center club looks like the entrance to a cave. And to dream of a cave is a sign of others giving you messages. If you whisper prayers to the dead at the mouth of a cave, they'll hear you. Depending on the solution, this card can identify solitude one is experiencing. If the card is reversed, as well as let you know the dead wish to speak. If it is upright, did it make sense? Depending on the situation, this card can identify solitude one is experiencing if the card is reversed, as well as let you know the dead wish to speak if it is upright. When safety is questioned, the upright dove gives a positive answer. All right. So maybe you have a message from the other side. I don't know. I'm still feeling what I felt initially, you know? Okay, so let's see. The plant, 23. And look at these devils growing out of the heart. So this talked about the devil. Okay, devil here obviously is a metaphor for a shadow or some sort of distortion. Okay, some form of illusion, but it could be the thing that was keeping us at a crossroads, you know, because the chains of the devil hold us back. But as we know, they're mindsets. They're not real. They're distorted beliefs that we might hold. Okay, but the heart can talk about emotional matters. 23 is the number 5, which is all about challenge and conflict. But this plant, I don't know why it's growing devil heads. 3. I'm seeing 3 cups in the reverse. 3 cups in the reverse. 3 cups is the card of reconciliation, networks of people, parties, but in the reverse, it could be like not feeling connected to, maybe a warning about a reconciliation of sorts here. Maybe you've been trying to block someone out, maybe some toxicity or something, a relationship with something, not necessarily someone. Yeah, now I'm being shown the cave here, which is really giving me hermit energy, but it's like removal of self, to go into solitude, to reflect, again, to keep people out or a community out. And this is opposite being seen. Okay, this is an interesting energy. We have ascension. Wow, look at that. So ascension's nothing new here at this channel. We have the stairs. Okay, so of course this is like energy that transcends beyond more denser energy. So it can transmute to devil energy. Something about this ascension, though, it's looking circular, so we might be feeling like we're falling back, but it's still ascension nonetheless. And then we have this tree growing, just like this plant. Look at this tree. Something's growing here, even if it seems like it's not. Yeah, and because the devil's an illusion, we might think like we might be seeing something here that's not necessarily the truth, because it doesn't maybe appear one way. But I do feel it could be growth here. Okay, and then we have the journey. Wow, the journey of ascension. Look at this sailboat, which talks about travel. But it's like turbulent here. It could be 6 swords. Yeah, I'm feeling strong 6 swords from this journey. 3 wands as well. Okay, and then we have a room. And there's no one in this room. Now the empty chair always gives me emperor energy. Okay, which is divine masculine, but it doesn't mean gender. It means like showing up to take accountability or responsibility or feeling empowered, but we're absent of, or someone isn't in that role. You, someone around you, whatever this is, it does symbolize someone leaving your life. Okay, but it's dependent on sort of how the channel comes through here. I feel there's something about divine timing coming through with this bronze statue. And with the yellow curtains, it's like building up the confidence to do something, but we might feel trapped or like we're just seeing it, but we're not doing it. Yeah, that's what it feels like. Okay. And also this quietness is giving me solitude. Okay. Yeah. And then we have high honor 25, or the number 7. High honor. I just need to sit with this energy for a bit. It's giving me 9 wands energy. Defensive. Could talk about boundaries as well. How need to protect oneself. But then there's this flavor of honor that comes through, which is like that emperor energy. Does this deck have a guidebook? I'm not sure. I'm just curious to see. Oh, it does. I don't think I've ever read this guidebook. What is this high honor about in this book? It says, this is a most enabling and positive card. Here we see cannonades, I don't know. As a significator receives a 21 gun salute. Literally, it means trophies, medals, honor, success, promotion, a raise, acting, an exam. Acting. Acing. I can read and speak, I promise. Acing an exam or graduating with honors. The significator is on his way up, socially or professionally. His or her way. More abstractly, it also represents anything high or tall. Oh my gosh, ascension. It could literally be someone smoking now. I'm seeing smoke here too. Okay, like smoking, getting high. Okay. All right, or tall, with a courthouse. Card 23, or imprisonment. Okay, so it's talking about the other cards in this deck. More abstractly, it also represents anything high or tall. With courthouse, card number 23, or imprisonment, Card 29, for example, it could stand for a landmark, a skyscraper, a tall public building next to a person. It could be a descriptor for tall in comparison to a child. Card 18, which represents small. Be a bit careful if next to a false person, card 8, or a thief, 24. Okay, when close, this card indicates achievement, career advancement, recognition, or promotion. It's virtually always business related. It has an element of work that requires knowledge as opposed to manual labor. With card 34, it means self-employment. It said when this card is far from the significator that's shown by the surrounding cards will surely come to pass. SW, I don't know what SW is. So it says, your ambition, skills, and knowledge, that's this Emperor sort of energy here, this empowerment energy. This card announces success, for example, in form of a job acceptance or a promotion in a relationship. High honor can imply an invitation or even a declaration of love. This is the Three Cups energy. As a significator card, solving problems, resolution, it can also demonstrate the resolution of all difficulties. You are deserving of your awards. SZ. I don't know why it talks about these initials at the end of it. This could be graduating from school or training or receiving the recognition from your peers, from academic degrees, certificates, awards, and medals, or just gratitude from customers receiving your latest deck of cards. Enjoy your moment. Okay, that's a good energy there. Let's see. Trend chaser. I'll hold that up. You know, she has a crown, which is giving me this self-empowerment again, or this emperor type energy. Okay, but it's feeling like feminine energy. She has a weapon in her hands, and these like splotches kind of remind me. Now I'm getting paint again because I do sometimes get a painter that comes through here. If that's your hobby, then take that as your message. This message could be for you. Okay, but what I'm seeing is like, you know, the wax that we stamp on a old letter or something. They like stamp wax and then they imprint it with their logo when they send a message. And I think we were getting message from, what was it? Was it what I just read? Receiving some form of a message, or this one, a messenger. Yeah, a message, but this said from the dead. Oh my gosh, from maybe someone who was like dead to you, or went silent, or disappeared, or went ghost. Not literally a ghost, but like on the other side. Yeah, someone that's removed themselves here. Oh my gosh, okay. It's trend, so something's not feeling right here because trend chaser, like I said, maybe it feels like a reconciliation, but there's like devilly things attached to it, you know? Okay, but we need to see, is it an illusion or is it something else? So let's pull the Lenormand deck here for you guys, okay? Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good for beautiful pile one. What is their message they're needing to hear right here, right now? What is their message for the greatest and highest good of pile one and what they have going on around them? Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message and their journey for the greatest and highest good. Pile one, I'd like to thank your higher self, your spirit team, spirit guides, angels, ancestors, and interdimensional beings for this act of divination. Thank you so much. I'll do 3 more. So we'll do a 9-card tableau here. And channel what this is, okay? So we have, look at the crossroads here. Crossroads. 22 is divinely guided relationships. It's a master number. Peacemaker, which is this reconciliation. Diplomacy, healthy energetic boundaries, which is this hand I was feeling. Divinely guided relationships, which is the 2 energies I was feeling. Now, sorry, this is really sort of all coming together. It's very clear, but is this crossroads in here, or is this the... I just want to see what is 22 in this deck. I haven't used it in a while. It's the paths. It's called paths. Place in front of you or a decision. However, this also expresses that there are alternatives and ways out that you have to make a choice. Yeah. So the crossroads. In this deck, it's called the paths. Okay. And then we have the clouds. Clouds is confusion. Okay. And then we have the sun. That's the opposite of this. That's clarity. On the other side, okay. Yeah. So 37, 6, and 22, which is 4, which is Emperor, Lovers, which is Gemini, and Capricorn, which is Devil. And then we have Leo. Suddenly my throat's feeling really sharp. Almost like it's caught something. Bear, oh my gosh, Emperor energy, but this could be someone who is controlling or aggressive or a boss figure, oppressive, forceful, overbearing, overpowering, in control here. You know, it could literally represent the boss or the husband or the male archetype, or I should say the masculine archetype, not necessarily the male, okay? Could even be an overbearing mother, someone very protective, maybe someone who feels like possessive over you or over themselves. And they're swatting at this beehive. Fascinating. Look at this horse. Unicorn, I don't know, horse, and it has a fishtail. It's kind of giving me Capricorn energy just because it's the water goat, although this is not a goat, but it's like half fish, half horse. And then it's kind of reminding me of this, like Devil is Capricorn as well, but it's like the plant is like the fishtail here has a heart, and then the head is this devil. Like, is there something sort of two sides or twofold or interesting, very interesting here. And then we have the moon, the little sheep, and the sheep herder. So the moon right underneath the cloud could definitely talk about something, maybe not in the visible just yet, you know, but it's intuition. It could be a period of real stillness even here, what I'm getting, you know, could be peace again with this dove. Removal. I'm also getting hermit from this energy, solitude. And the hermit is a guide as well. This is like a sheep herder. $32, which is 5. And didn't you get 32 over here? No, 23, a mirrored number. Another 5. 15, Capricorn energy, which we were feeling. And Leo, if I didn't say. Aries, Virgo, Cancer. Wow, we're getting a lot of signs here. Gemini and Virgo from the monkey. Okay. Wow. Your channel is very clear. Here is the woman, 29, or the number 11, and she has a little pig with her, little piglet. Look at the feather. It's reminding me of the peacock here. Although it's not a peacock feather, but it's like, look where it's placed, like being seen right smack dab in the middle. So it's like being visible, expressive, but it's highlighting her third eye. Feathers for me talk about ancestors. This came through as a message from your ancestors. So the third eye is intuition and knowing beyond the veil. Maybe being guided by the ancestor or guided towards some form of self-expression or seeing something like this. What's with the pig? I don't know what the pig is here. A lion, 11. I was going to say a lion. Oh my goodness. 11. It's a very spiritual number. Okay. Divine inspiration and synchronicities. Oh my gosh. And here's the male. So this is, oh my gosh, you guys, in the peacock feather. I haven't used this deck in forever. Look at the peacock feather. I was just tapping into peacock feather on her forehead, but I said it's not. Now, sorry, these things just blow me away sometimes, you know? It really does. So we have the male and the female, the divine masculine, divine feminine, the emperor and the empress here. And he has a weasel and she has a pig. And look at his braid. It's a little red ribbon. That's cute. So the peacock could definitely represent ego, like because of the pride, you know? The peacock sort of goes peacocking, has a lot of pride. Wow. Pile one. What is this? Okay, so this is the park scene. I forget what the card is called, but it's like a 3-cup energy. Okay, it's like a network, a party, an event. I forget what it's called. We'll look in the book. 20. I think it's courtyard. Oh, courtyard or the park or something like this. Look at the woman here with her dog, and then the male here with, what does he have, a child? She has an umbrella. Okay, let's just see. And what is this? Just for the officialness of it. I think it's called courtyard. But I don't know in this deck what it's called. It's called the park. The park stands for places open to the public, for society, for any place where a lot of people can come together. This can be a concert, a hospital, a fair. Depending on the question asked, this card can be an indicator that many people are involved. Okay, so it's sort of the 3 cups energy. Like an event or something, public space. It almost feels to me, oops, like see how there's this crossroads? And then there's like coming into like a clearing here. And this was talking about the crossroads too. These 2 paths. And it's like this one entryway or transition into one place here that might be a neutral place. And umbrella could definitely talk about protection. Okay, and then finally we have the dog, which was highlighted here. Dogs are about friendship, loyalty, feeling a sense of camaraderie. That's the 3-cup energy, you know? And it looks like there's a ball here, but it's reminding me of like a crystal ball. So scrying, someone who can, again, this 3rd eye energy, being able to tap into something that's unspoken or behind the scenes going on intuitively. And on the mantle, I used to have a salt and pepper shaker exactly sort of like this. I can't get it to focus. Looked very much like this. 18's the moon. Salt and pepper. The black and white. The masculine, the feminine. Complement each other in some way. Okay, wow. Pile number 1. This is going to be quite the reading here. Let me sit here with this energy. You guys can definitely skip ahead and I'll begin to channel what I see here. I'm feeling 2 energies, pile number 1, and I'm not sure which one you are. You know, back in the day, I would have been convinced you're this empress, but I think for some of you guys, you're coming through as this emperor energy, regardless of your gender. Okay? So you'll have to apply what energy you are. And I'll say person A and person B. And if I switch it on you, I'm sorry, but when I begin to channel, it just comes through as I'm reading it naturally, okay? What this message is talking about does feel like two people for sure in this reading. And I don't know what the backstory is for you and this person, okay? It could be that you guys are just in no contact, or someone ghosted, someone didn't act appropriately. Whoever that was, I'm not sure if it was A or B. But I know that both A and B are like either not talking, got upset, didn't get closure, no resolution, whatever the case may be. Your message here, since you're the viewer, is talking about the process of growth pictured through ascension here, okay? When we ascend, it means we can raise our consciousness to a higher level to see things differently than we have in the past in order to heal, understand ourselves better, others better, and maybe not necessarily do the same thing that keeps us playing small, or feeling victimized, or feeling in a way we don't like, suffering, like things are out of our control, or we have to force resolution. Now, why I'm saying this is because there's an energy of divine masculine, regardless if you're gender. It could be a female, okay, who is like trying to like force some sort of control, because when we feel out of control, we sort of do whatever we can here and can't see beyond our own sort of ego, our own pride. And so it isn't necessarily about the other so much as it is stroking my pride or gaining back the control, or like not necessarily that it's like I just want to overpower this person, but it's like if someone I do feel connected to all of a sudden sort of pulls the plug, my whole world is like, and then it's like I need to get myself in a position that makes me feel okay. And if I feel very desperate, or if I feel very like it's out of my control, I might act in many different ways. I might get angry. I might do things here, just to rock the boat, almost like a child that isn't that doesn't have attention and starts acting out, in the same sort of flavor of it. And so I feel like there's a divine empress energy, which could be you for sure, that's sort of trying to align with clarity, trying to align with energy here that could support her better. So I do feel like she might be, okay, if this is you, but I'm going to say she might be having to dig herself out of situation that might have been murky, confusing, disempowering, not clear, enduring. And she's like, I want loyalty. I want friendship. I want clarity. I want camaraderie. I want belonging. I want to feel joy. I want to feel happiness. I don't want to feel murky, confused. I don't want to be lost in intuition and emotions. I don't want to be on my own. I don't want to be whatever it is that she has been experiencing, potentially with this masculine energy. Now, this could be same gender, okay, same gender, but it's the energy that I talk about here. And so I feel like there's a choice. There's a choice for each of these. I do feel there is a reconciliation on the table, meaning someone, I don't know who, I think it might be this masculine energy coming forward, wanting a 3-cup, which is a reconciliation. Because I think in the heart, there's an understanding. Okay, now, of course, the heart doesn't have like a mind, but it has its own understanding. But what I feel, this is a very important message, and I have a feeling I'm talking to this, and you might not know that this is you, and that's why the message is coming through. Okay? Now, there's many ways this is going to come out, but for the most part, so don't click away because of what I feel. There is an energy here, And we might not be like, I'm not reaching out to that person, or I'm not gonna, whatever. If we're getting this need for control back, or this need, it's like we're tricking ourselves. We're not trying to trick that person because we want trickery. We're tricking ourselves because what Spirit's coming through here, okay, even if this is the other person, what Spirit's coming through here is there's a wound that's creating this impulse. And there's a need to connect, almost at all costs. But the main wound still exists here. So if we feel like someone's done something here, it's like the only thing that's going to soothe it is to create peace, of course. But it's like creating peace for the sake of regulating our nervous system without healing this wound is actually presenting an illusion of sorts here, because all we're going to do is not necessarily come to the table with anything that's going to resolve anything. And so Spirit is saying that the ascension process, and both of these are actually ascending, by the way, because I feel this Empress, which I'll get into, is now sort of seeing her value, and that she could have clarity, and that she could surround herself with people who are supportive. Okay. And she might have been normally like rolling around with the pigs, you know? It's like beneath herself in some way. Not that this person was less than, but it's like, if we think we deserve to be in energies or situations that are sort of creating whatever it is creating, then that's a reflection of how we feel about ourselves. So back to this Emperor energy, it's almost like both these people, for sure, I feel, have been in their own sort of world. So it feels like a no contact, solitude, reflecting. And now is a point of like, we can finally sort of find a place of peace where someone, I feel, is offering an olive branch, okay, or a reconciliation. And I feel like the other side might have a boundary, or might be the message here is like, what is the boundary here, rather than just looping into a reconciliation of sorts for the wrong reasons, but the health and the root of the thing that created the separation in the first place needs to get looked at. So Spirit is confirming love here for sure. Okay, it's not that these people don't love each other, but we can hold many sort of truths at the same time, that there's a love, and then there's a trauma. I call it trauma. Okay, even if we think, well, no, there's no trauma that's happened. It's like we develop coping mechanisms based on upbringing, and if it's unhealthy, it's created some traumatic response. This traumatic response can get to different effects in different people. And I feel like this Emperor that I'm connecting to over here is wanting control, is feeling like possessive over this other person, you know? And it's not necessarily saying, well, that means they're a narcissist and they just see people as possessions. It's like, no, it's the unhealthy child trauma thing that's like, and not knowing how it is to express love in a healthy way, you know? And so the healing is happening through this process. I feel like there is growth happening. So there's many things going on here, okay? There's cycles of the past that Spirit's bringing to our attention, regardless of what side we're on. Sometimes we experience the same people repeatedly, and Spirit is bringing to the attention, is the healthiness of oneself improving over a period of time, even if there's cycles, even if there seems to be repeating patterns. Because the process of ascension is a spiral, meaning we might have to experience things that were like, I thought I had learned from this. I thought I had moved beyond this. And now here I am experiencing this again. But overall, when we look at like, you know, however many months ago, it's like, what have I learned? Am I growing? Do I know more about myself? Do I feel more accountable for my own world, or empowered to make decisions? Or am I just agreeing to sort of fit in and be accepted, and play a role that's not necessarily where I'm happy, because I do feel this is Divine Empress. So it's like I'm going to be making myself little, or I'm going to be trying to make this work at all costs so I can have love, or so I can be accepted, and then sort of burn out here, you know? So there's a message here about getting a message. I don't know who's sending, I think it's the Emperor, but there's a message being sent. Okay, but I don't know if I'm telling you you're getting the message or you're the one sending the message. That's what's unclear to me, but there's definitely a message. And it's definitely from someone you haven't heard in a while. And I do feel both people are being called to step into their own accountability and responsibility, because I think both people haven't. Both people, and this is why this message is coming out like this. And we might think, no, I was. They were the ones, you know, because it's easy to think that it's saying no. Because if we were in a spiral, or if we were experiencing something like this, okay, where we repeatedly sort of got to see this person to make a determination that this person was like this or like that, it's like, what energy were we in? Did we self-abandon ourselves? Were we in an empowered energy when we did intermingle or come together? Like, there seems to be a lot about finding peace, finding forgiveness, finding grace in other. And the only way we can really do that is to feel empowered in our own energy, and not self-betrayal, and not have to be something that we're not. So there's a message about reflecting and looking at oneself and putting the truest form out there. And because I feel both these people might not be putting their truest form out there. They might have good intention. They might be truthful people. But it's like, this bear is going to put forward one energy, because its fight or flight is to do what it takes to sort of maintain this energy, especially if it feels this Empress is sort of, you know, having fun in the sun without him. Okay. And like I said, for some of you guys, this is your energy, and your masculine is out in the sun or whatever. Okay. But it's like, why are we sort of doing what it is that we're doing? Is it for the health? Is it for the health of something here? Have we found the root? Have we reflected enough? Are we actually making peace? Or are we doing some sort of action here in order to put a Band-Aid or clear a superficial wound, or because we've been separate or a ghost or something like this, and now I want to re-wound myself in some way here. So I'm putting on this show. Okay, like, what form of expression? And then the divine feminine energy that I'm feeling here is like, what sort of show was she showing up? Was she expressing her truest nature, or was she expressing in a way here to be loved, you know, or to be accepted? Or there might be even an energy now of like defensiveness. And that's how her expression comes through, as defensiveness here. Sorry, the dog is barking. And so, yeah, like if we have reason to be defensive, then there's something unhealed. If we're feeling like we're at peace, not in storm, there's nothing to defend. Now, we might say, well, look at this bear's coming at me, you know? Yeah, look at even this little scorpion. It looks like, I don't know, an ant or something like that. It looks defensive. And this little thing could be just as toxic. That's what I'm getting. Like, look at this, you know, let's say it's a scorpion. I don't think it is, but it's like this bug can like kill something by biting it. And this bear could definitely kill something. I feel like there's toxic traits going on here in both of these people and how they deal with it. So this message is talking about there being a crossroads, meaning we've come to some form of point in the road where we could choose to do things differently or the same. The same way can result in the same toxic patterns, same illusions, same conversations, or we can find a resolution and choose a different path. But it doesn't mean that that other person is going to shift, change, be healed, or do anything we want them to do. It's like I can choose a different path for myself, one that isn't defensive or guarded or controlling or wanting some form of outcome or forcing my way, my will, or being obsessive and controlling, okay, or inflicting defensiveness or harm in the way I communicate or the way that I'm in my energy here. And by truly leaning into that in which is true, truthful expression, that in which is really for the peace of a situation, regardless of outcome, which takes great humility and someone who is more ascended to say, the peace of this connection, the peace of a partnership, whatever it may look like, is that of my truest intention. And so if I do come out of my cave, my solitude, my boundary, my removal, my ghosting or whatever, because I'm lured out or I've got a message or because I want to give a message, then it's like what it's saying, what are the intentions here? Are the intentions from a place of peace, extending compassion and grace and not attached to some form of toxic outcome or wanting something so much so with this devil that we're obsessive and controlling, or it's like we have our eye on the what it must be because it's coming from devil, which is the wound. And unless it grows this way, like I have in my mind, then it's going to create some sort of not good situation, you know? Like this isn't healed. So I feel we're amidst some storm of learning. I feel like there is growth for sure, regardless if it seems very cyclical. If it feels toxic, you know, it's not saying stay in the toxicity, but it's saying there is lessons grown here. There is ascension happening here. And there is a need to really reflect and integrate the shadow of self and not abandon oneself. And like there is an acknowledgement of how much maybe there has been growth. And there's only one person that needs to sort of show up for you, and that's yourself. That's the first step, you know. Of course, we want others to support us and to be in our world and to align with good friends. But it's saying if we can't do this ourselves, it's too much pressure to put on others to fill a role that we can't fill ourselves. And so the urgency to connect is coming from devil. This other person must fill a role for me, must do this or that for me, must say this or that, must look at me in a way or show me that I'm like this because I can't feel like this myself. So they must appreciate me in a way here that makes me feel a way that I can't do myself, you know? It's because everyone wants to feel seen and beautiful and validated and approved and appreciated and honored. And it's a beautiful feeling. But when it's like not from a place that we can cultivate ourselves, it becomes that's our only source of it. And so when someone takes it away, like a no contact or they go ghost or whatever, it's like I don't see my own value. I don't fill that spot myself. And so then all of a sudden it's like I must go back to fill this part of me because everyone's entitled to feel beautiful and to feel heard and seen and loved and appreciated and valued and honored. Everybody, you know. But it's like the way that it comes about could be in a very traumatic way that we're sort of trying to get these dopamine hits in a way here that is cyclical or toxic or like not healthy. So I feel like there's been a struggle with someone for sure. I feel like there's a point that we're at, a crossroads, a decision can be made, a healing can happen. a growth can happen, moving beyond can happen, that's for sure, but moving beyond doesn't mean connection for the sake of not learning anything, or connecting so that we can repeat a pattern and not grow, or put the burden on the other. What is the other healed? What is the other going to say? What is the other, is now the other more aligned? Is now the other going to appreciate me? Is now the other going to see me different? Is now the other no, because of disappointment, we're not showing up for that role. It's like, now if I do engage, up to you, of course. If you don't want to engage with this person, then do not. It's like, how do I then show up for myself here? How do I then express truths here without seeking validation? How do I then honor my own self here without trying to chase it, or prove myself or something like this, or force it, And this could all be one of the same energy that I'm reading. It doesn't necessarily have to be two. I'm going to force this. I'm going to force being seen. I'm going to force being validated. I'm going to force, and that they're on the other side of this ascension and this growth and this movement is everything that we did want. We wanted the loyalty, we wanted the support, we wanted to be seen, we wanted to be beautiful, we wanted to be peaceful, we wanted to experience joy. And we wanted to move out of this energy, because I feel there's something here strong about enduring something, going without, or really trying to find this state. And so Spirit is saying to find this state, the state of consciousness, the state of awareness, the state of moving through this ascension so that we can rise above to a higher level of consciousness, starts with awareness. Are we abandoning self? What lens are we looking at? What's the expectation of other? Are we seeking for control? Are we coming from the lens of the pain or the wound? Is the eye on the outcome that's actually an illusion? Like a quick fix sort of resolution that will ease the pain temporarily. But there's no one sort of at the helm here. That I'm chasing this, and I find the trend is this cycle. I'm going to repeat this cycle, that I'm going to show up and just cross my fingers and toes that other has healed, other has changed. It's like, well, have we healed? Have we changed? Are we standing up for ourselves, or in that role? Can we even stand up for other? Or we can't even stand up for ourselves, never mind other. And then we want other to stand up for us and themselves. Like it feels very much like this, wheel, in which is out of our control, but we give that power to the other side to sort of fix it. And then we get angry or defensive or guarded. And Spirit saying, whoa, 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 whoa. You're just as much conscious here at this crossroads of a decision. And one path is going to lead to happiness, harmonious, neutral space. And another path could certainly repeat confusion, repeat powerlessness, repeat the illusion, repeat the ego pattern, and repeat no contact again. It's like, who's this guide? It's like, what's your intuition telling you? Where are you being guided? Yeah. So I guess this is a message of awareness here for you, And I do feel like there is going to be a communication here. And I think this way that we respond could be so fueled that even if we wanted to respond differently, or even react differently, the trauma response. So it takes a lot of going through this ascension and really being conscious and seeing what outcome am I attached to seeing or wanting as a result of what it is that I'm doing in this moment. Maybe I just want the quick fix now, It's like devil response. It's saying, can we see this thing growing healthy in a way? or like right here in this moment, like what is pulling on this response? Is it a need to be validated? Is it a need to be just appreciated in this moment? And then I'm trapped in sort of this chasing this validation. And because it's like someone finally coming from the darkness, validating me or approving me. And then I get defensive because I've abandoned myself, and fell back into some sort of pattern. So we can find a common, healthy resolution with another person here. Because I think both people are coming from a place of love, although it's unhealed and it's a little distorted on both their ends. And it's creating this, it's the other dynamic. And then we sort of lose trust here, So I'm seeing the masculine and the feminine. Like I said, the salt and the pepper. Like when I put it down here, the feminine and the masculine. The masculine and the feminine. So it's coming through all over this reading, okay? The feminine and the masculine. And so I feel like something is being mirrored and we're really looking out there. And it's really saying like that mirror, that person, that reality you're seeing is a mirror, like saying, look at you, look at you, look at you. Don't look at that as it being that person. Look at yourself. Because then your choices will be different. Your conversations will be different. You can manifest different. But I think you're looking, and the confusion here is seeing out there like it's separate, like this person is an independent person acting in a way here that's creating something you don't like. And then it robs you of your power. And vice versa. The person's looking at you like this, And there could be a lot of benefits and a lot of things we don't like. And this is how it keeps us sort of stuck in this cycle. So I think there's a way to grow stability in this dynamic. And it is through a process of ascension, which starts with us showing up to see and to be more aware of our own self. And so we have to be aware, like, what's my expectation about what this person should do for me, or what really in my heart is saying that I need from this person, and be very honest about it. Because those are devil thoughts. That someone else has a role that if they do not play, it's going to make me defensive. It's going to make me this way and that way. It's going to hurt me. It's going to do all sorts of things. If it does, that means we're not healed and we're not there for ourselves, and we're putting that on other person. And so Spirit's saying, if we want a healthy, stable relationship, not grown from the illusion and the wound and the fantasy, then we have to honor and respect our own self by showing up and being honest. The first step is looking at this thing, making peace with this thing, spending the time in solitude to reflect, guiding ourselves out of this thing, not putting responsibility on other, not saying the accountability is because of how this person behaved or what they did or what they didn't do, because that's deferring the power to other. That's giving away everything that's in my ability. And now I'm under the illusion that I have to fight for control. I got to gain my empowerment. I need to win appreciation, validation. I need to do something. I could be very frustrated here. So what can I do? What can I do? I'm more confused. I'm being intuitively called to do something. It's like, no, the intuition wanted you to connect to something that feels good for you. And it's been absent. And it's saying, you step into this. You, not this person, because this person will guarantee disappoint you at some point in time. They may fill that role for a day. They may fill that role for a week. They may fill that role for 20 years. But the point being is that no one can sustain that energy. And once it's sort of generated by you and your self-empowerment, then there is no defenses. There is no need to fight and prove. There's no need to chase. There's no need to do anything, and crave for approval or validation or seeking of being seen. I need to be seen. I need to be seen. I need to be seen. It's like you're the master magician here. you know? And so you could very well be dealing with a sneaky person. Okay, we see the weasel and the tricky monkey here. And we could just be so focused on that, where it's like, I just want friendship, I want loyalty, I want commitment, I want. And all we see is weasel, monkey, trickster, overbearing, stubborn, you know? So, crossroads, your decision, you manifest. Are you awakened? Are you aware to see beyond the illusion and the confusion here? Are you really listening to the intuition? Or are we listening to the fear? Are we trying to force outcome and control, or are we staying with an open heart of giving and receiving and knowing our own value? Can we be a friend to ourselves? Can we be a friend to other? Because that's great ascension here. You know, if we can't even sort of support and be loyal to ourselves or be a friend to ourselves, we're not being a friend to other, no matter how perfect we think we are or how much of a catch we are. It's like, well, we can't even support ourselves. What makes us think that we were being any friend to another without some form of an agenda of wanting some form of secret validation or something, or chasing this on other? So this communication is very much inviting us for truth, inviting us to see our own defenses, inviting us to see where we might have been absent from some greater way of seeing the situation by putting our hand up and saying, hey, I'm accountable and responsible for this, this, and this. And up until now, I was giving it to you, saying that you should have done this. It should have came from you. You were the one that was supposed to do this or that, say this or that, or do that or this, and then I would have been okay. No, that's giving away our power. So I put my hand up saying, I am the one. I am the one. And once we do that and fill that seat, then things start to shift. Whoever is narcissist falls away. Whoever's toxic won't like this. And then we find peace, happiness, and then we pull towards us people here who like to be around our energy, who might not feel threatened by this, who might finally pull us close rather than go in no contact because we're too clingy, needy, or coming from the place of the wound or the trauma, wanting them to be a certain way that they can't be, and it's too much. Okay? And we always hear, oh, you're not too much, just be yourself. It's like, yeah, but if it's coming from trauma, you're too much. Okay, and I'm saying it like this because society needs to hear it this way. We can go to other channels if we want to feel fluffy about this. And those who are here needing to hear it exactly as I'm saying it. We can be too much if we are just enabling our trauma to run rampant and then enabling it like it's natural and normal. No. We all have trauma, though. It's not just saying you're the only one. It's saying your trauma, let's not enable it. Your trauma, let's not validate it. Your trauma, let's not pretend that it's something here that another is going to have to accommodate and then say, well, then they're not the ones for me because they were all these things. And I will find someone. It's like, yeah, but we'll find another codependent situation. We'll find someone that can sort of distort this trauma and then fall flat when that itself reveals another crack in this whole thing. And we're left sort of needing to fill that role. Either which way, the role needs to be filled. And Spirit's saying, why not now? Why not now? You know, it takes great self-awareness here to sort of walk up this thing, you know, and put our hand up to it. Pile number 1, this is your reading. I hope this helped you put things into perspective here. Okay, sounds like you will be having an opportunity for a reconciliation. So it's up to you, sort of how this goes about, you know, there's 2 ways. We could repeat the past and walk into that path, or we can move forward and expand and grow things and move out of this slowly. But if it's not right away, it's like, well, maybe I can part-time fill this chair, you know, until I can fully fill that chair consistently. Okay, I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye. Hello, pile number 2. You picked this wooden person right here. So we're looking at your direct message from Spirit. What do you need to know right here, right now? Okay, so I pre-shuffled oracle cards. I've not looked at these. I asked Spirit specifically what it was you're needing to know right here, right now regarding your current situation, circumstance. And then we have the Lenormand deck, which will be pulling a 9-card tableau, meaning it'll be done in a way here that we can channel the information directly from these cards. So let's take a look at what Spirit is communicating to you. Okay, we have the 9 of diamonds, which is 9 pentacle. And then we have this rooster without a head. So you always hear chicken with its head cut off. This roosters are male energy, but the head's cut off. 9 pentacles is the card of independence. Interesting. I think we should read the book to see what it says. 3 spades is the 3 swords. And this is coming in reverse. So this is a triangle with a fracture through it. I'm kind of getting fault line from the Kim Kranz deck here. Let's take a look at what this is all about here before I channel to see what the author of this book is talking about first. And then I'll channel it as a whole. Diamonds, 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 diamonds. So 9 diamonds is headless rooster. To dream of a headless beast is a sign of a haint. I don't know what a haint is. Haint. A restless spirit. Reverse this card shows disappointment or rest. Okay. I'd rather channel what I'm channeling here, but interesting. 3 of spades. It says broken trinity. This card comes with many meanings based on its position in the spread and what company it keeps upright. It represents fighting to the next day and setbacks that can last a lifetime. Long time, specifically 3 years. If it appears with the kings or queens, regardless of their suit, this shows discord or a fight with the parent or parental figure. The symbolism of this card follows the old saying that things break or drop in threes. Therefore, based on other cards, it can signify a coming streak of bad luck. It doesn't talk about, reversed. That's what yours is. Reversed, it shows harmony, balance, and overcoming of obstacles. However, this can again be refuted by the cards around it. Wow, we chopped off the head of the ego, the rooster. 9 pentacles is self-independence. Maybe pile 1 needs to come over here. Let's take a look. 15 lovers. Oh my goodness. So 15 is Capricorn energy, devil energy, but look at the lovers is Gemini, and these two are sort of set in stone, but they come together, solidified here. And we have doves. Doves came through as a sign in pile number 1, but look, there's 2. Both sides. Both sides coming with peace and harmony and love in their heart, Not one side, not. Interesting energy, pile number 2. We have a cat and the 9 again. Cats are about independence. Cats are about freedom. Cats are sometimes very defensive if they get cornered in a way. Okay, they do like to sort of roam, be free. And they're all cuddly. 9, so 2 9s. 9s are all about fruition, completion, fulfillment, are getting Virgo energy and Cancer energy with the 9. And Gemini and Capricorn with the lovers here in the 15. So we have thought. So this guy's in heavy contemplation. He's holding some form of a scroll that's open. So he's been fed some information that he's considering. He's not in the dark. He understands or sees, but it could be a lot of information or needs to sort of get clear. We see the hourglass, could talk about divine timing. We see the skull, which means massive transformation, a release, a change, a death of something here. And there's a rolled up scroll beside it too. So Scorpio energy and then more Gemini I'm feeling here with this thought. Yeah. Aries as well with the rooster. And then we have the shadow 30. This person looks like they're wearing a mask too, which could be the shadow. It's holding a candle, Ace of Wands. So it's their shadow. That's this ego. Has no head. Their own shadow. Okay. And then we have the path with this archway. You see 3 trees here. The path. Okay. And then we have emoji overuser. So this could be a flood of different emotions, you know, happy, sad, angry, hot, feeling cold, feeling of all sorts of ways, sort of all at once. I'm feeling like a fluctuating emotions. Could literally be someone who uses a lot of emojis for expression. Okay, compassion. You're being asked to be kinder to yourself, to give yourself a break instead of being a taskmaster, a bully, and a horrible friend. Be a loving comforter who always has your back. Interesting, because I feel like this last thing, pile number 1, was to sort of enforce toxicity here. So yeah, I'm just connecting to this energy here. Okay, let's see. Spirits, pile number 2. For pile 2, what is it that they're being called to see or understand at this time for the greatest and highest good of pile 2? Pile 2, Spirit, please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile 2. Pile 2, I'd like to take this time to thank your higher self, spirit team, spirit guides, ancestors, and of course, Spirit, for this act of divination. Thank you so much. What is it that pile number 2 is being called to see, understand at this time about their current situation, circumstance? What is the message for pile 2, Spirit? Thank you so much. All 3? Okay. Interesting. We'll put that there. Let's look. Flowers. The bouquet. This is being appreciated. A gift. Number 9. Again, 999. Fulfillment. Completion. Okay. And then we have the dog. And this came up in pile 1. So the friend, the companion, the loyalty, the friendship. 18. Cancer energies, moon energy. And then we have the whip. And number 11. So painful situations. It's kind of like, I'm getting back to this. So you feel overwhelmed, you know? Experiencing things here which might not necessarily be pleasant. See the cross in the background. So it's like burdened. It's feeling like a 10 wands here with this. Okay. Wow, you talk about burden. Look at this ox carrying this big haystack here. So this is the scythe. So something ending abruptly. We have 10 here. I'm feeling 10 wands again here. Okay, and then we have the clouds came out for pile number 1. The number 6 is the lovers. I'm seeing the pitchfork, which can pick at this hay. Clouds are about confusion. We see the monkey, which is magician energy. More Gemini energies coming through here, okay? And then we have the snake. So snake in this deck is deception, you know, sometimes represents the other woman being deceived, not seeing. The 7 here, feeling tricked. 7 swords. Oh, wow. All right. And then we have the key, 33. Reproduction, creativity, humor, Christ consciousness. Key is all about knowledge. We have thought here. This is definitely knowledge, information. And look at the sleeping dragon. Dragons could be fantasy, okay? But dragons could all of a sudden like breathe this fiery breath, like this intensity. Okay, information. We have Tower, and Tower in the Lenormand could talk about isolation, feeling alone, or like like lonely, isolated. But it could also symbolize corporations, industries, workplaces. Like government official buildings or structures. Prehistoric birds, looks like pterodactyl birds. Okay, 19, sun energy, ego energy, another 6 here. And then we have the rider, which delivers news, could be someone new coming in, information, delivery. Okay. And then we have the owls, or the birds. Birds can talk about communication, siblings, gossip, messages. But owls to me always represents the wisdom and back to this knowledge. 2 people again, 2 birds here. Like I said, the doves, 2 people with the owls, which is the wisdom and the understanding. And the communication here. Okay, this is interesting energy. I'm going to take some time to really sit with this so you guys can skip ahead and I'll see what it is that Spirit's wanting you to know at this time. The path. It looks like he's coming to her rescue in there. It's kind of giving me Rapunzel energy. Let down your hair, Rapunzel. Okay, hold on. Okay, pile number 2. Fascinating. I don't know if 1 is over here or if you were pulled to 1. It's an independent message of that, but it could be tied. Meaning we might, if we're really sort of going through it with 1, and then this might be a little bit more, I don't know if we want to call it ascended or peering behind the veil a little bit more, because this journey, this path, this growth, whatever, this experience we might have has many different flavors and introduces different dynamics that help us see certain parts more clearly, And if we have the expectation that we're going to heal all wound or see all things, it's not necessarily going to help us at all, We can't see all things, know all things, be all things, do all things for sure. But this is an unhealthy message to give to someone if they're in pile 1 energy, which is why I delivered 1 the way I did. And sometimes I feel bad, believe it or not, but it's how it's channeled, because I sometimes get very frustrated through that reading, but it's not me personally. I don't feel like angry. I'm just frustrated with the energy that's channeled as the way that it's channeled. And why I'm going into this is because we have to understand all the different levels of consciousness that happen, meaning when I can't see beyond certain things, I make permission for myself to stay in ego consciousness. The victimization, I'm the victim, they're to blame, is a very basic sort of understanding, when we get into conflict with other. This seems like there's a higher state of consciousness here. There's no victim blaming the other person. However, what there is happening here, it feels painful here because we're still working through our own self-worth and self-value, and we're still having to connect here. Okay. Sorry, I know I might be starting from the backwards up. There seems to be something about seeing through some egoic thing that could be really in the past, something that was challenging. So congratulations, It's like I'm no longer feeding that in which I could see through right now, because there is an understanding of something, either something you were doing or saying or believing or understanding. And it's like, whoa, let me think of this differently. And once we start to see it differently in ourselves, we could see it differently in other, which creates peace. So I feel like this seems to be a relationship reading as well. Okay. Same as pile 1. We have the Lovers right here. And it could be like really about finding peace and union and harmony with other, and working beyond one's own ego and understanding one's own responsibility, what one is independently responsible for, accountable for, involved for, and yes, we're not separate, but we all have our own cross to bear, our own shadow, our own energy. That's the only thing we could be responsible and accountable for. And so I feel like there is this shift and this change, which is all for the better here, what Spirit's talking about for you, where I think there might have been a lot of suffering, a lot of pain, maybe a lot of separation, maybe a lot of argument, or maybe a lot of division, a lot of space, a lot of misunderstanding, a lot of ego, a lot of need for control, a lot of power dynamics, a lot of that sort of a thing. And it's like, what do we really, 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 truly want at the end of the day? To love, be appreciated, have someone to be loyal to us and us be loyal to them. Understanding that the pains that we might experience, the negative things, are neither negative or positive, but are things that will fluctuate. Fluctuate, because there's one thing that's for sure in this universe is things manifest all the time. And they're not inherently bad or good. They are all neutral happening. And we apply whether it's good, bad, emotionally exhausting, terrifying, or if we love it or we hate it or whatever we feel. And our feelings are absolutely valid. However, the feeling is a trigger response based on a construction of egos, of past wounds, of past beliefs. And so when we're just sort of generating, this makes me angry, this makes me happy, this makes me like pile 1, it creates a lot of conflict dynamic in our world. And we can't get out of that loop. We can't see beyond what's actually happening. So in this pile, it's like, yes, we could be still experiencing an influx of anger, happiness, sadness, doubt, a lot of mixed emotions. And it's saying, allow yourself to feel the mixed emotions for sure. There's nothing wrong, because I feel like if we think, well, I shouldn't feel this way, especially if like we're now more seeing clearly, and therefore it could cause more confusion, believe it or not. How could seeing more clearly cause more confusion? Because the feelings are still there, tied to an old belief system. And so I could see the belief I had. I could see where I was maybe hanging on to an understanding or an idea that isn't actually necessarily maybe the truth. So, could there be more to this? And then the feelings are still firing off the old trauma or the old belief. And we're chopped off that belief. We've seen through that ego, but the reaction might still be there. And then it's like feeling bad. That we're like, I could see the illusion here. I could see my pride getting in the way here. I could see my thing getting in the way here, but I can't deny that I feel anger, or that I feel greedy or jealous or upset or whatever. And it's saying, don't deny or suppress this. This is good, because what this is a messenger, and this messenger is showing more of this rooster energy or this ego energy. And the more we peel the layers back, every time this emotional expression sort of comes through, it triggers us to see more of this wound. And the more we see of the wound, the more we can reflect, okay, what part of egoic self or part of self here that I'm not necessarily understanding or seeing through, so that I can create more peace, balance, harmony with myself. And when I can do that with myself, I could create it with other. Because this is all a journey of the path, the way to fix oneself. Okay, now we're not broken, but if we're living unconsciously and we're at the mercy of what emotions emerge, then it's like we're just sort of firing on all cylinders. And of course we're human, of course emotions come and go, but this is exact key, is like we make excuses for emotions that are actually firing off with no thought. That's when we're unconscious. Okay, but I feel here Spirit is really giving the encouragement with this compassion. It's like at this part of the ascension, and this is why I don't want a wrong person wandering over here, giving them their ego green light to just keep doing the same thing. It's like, no, we see through the illusion, but you are being asked to be kinder to yourself in this process, because what it's saying is just because the shadow comes through, meaning I now see through this egoic thing that I was doing, whatever it may be, the pride, the anger, the jealousy, the need to be approved, the need to cling, whatever the thing was, I see it, I'm sitting with it. The shadow can't be a shadow now, it's in the light. Anything that comes to light is now a conscious awareness. However, it doesn't mean the pattern changes. It doesn't mean the mask has fallen. It doesn't mean that, and now that I see it, like everything sort of now is aligned. It's like now that I see it is the first step. It still sort of haunts. It still sort of kicks and screams. It still sort of wants to take the reins here. And I feel it overrides, you know? And it's saying, don't resist. Be aware. Be aware. Be aware of the mask I wear right now. Be aware of the shadows creeping through, the pride or the anger, the feelings here. But be very much observant of it. Don't allow it to sort of be in action and we're not present and we're not aware. Not so we could judge it, not so we can shame it, not so we can make it go back or away or hide it, but so that we can see it as a part of the self here that is wanting to be seen, wanting to be expressed, and it creates this version of us in the universe, okay, how we engage with others, that is truly masking the pain, truly masking the desire or the intention. And so I feel like this group is coming through as working through an independence beyond the ego, beyond the need to be sort of propped up, validated, or approved by connection, by our environment or by another here, where we only know ourselves through connection, you know? It could be very fused. We could have an anxious attachment sort of style. We could be finding our identity through other in a way here that's like maybe created the suffering or something. Okay, but I feel like because we're seeing the two doves and I am seeing the lovers, like I said, feeling a connection energy here of you and another who are going through profound journey, path of knowledge, experience, peace. And so the more we go down this path, the more we both find peace, the more we both understand each other, the more lessons we sort of experience, whether they be pleasant, angry, whatever is the experience here. It's saying this experience is revealing more and more to us, you know, that we're maybe more the same than different, that we are sort of one, but we have to sort of see ourselves sort of from this cat energy. If we're too, like I said, finding our value through other, or the opposite, which the cat could be so independent. So again, there's the mirror lesson here. One being too anxious, too finding their self in other, and the other one sort of so independent that it is like, I don't need to attach to anyone because I might lose myself. I might then become sort of stuck to a rigid rule, or like have no way to find my independence, because then we'll be fixed to this connection. So there's an unhealthy understanding of what connection means, truly walking the path of lovers, because those are two different unhealthy sort of ways that sit in the shadow. A strong independence, and then we can't get close, or the only way for me to find appreciation and value is through connection and other, because it's difficult for me to sort of make my own independence here aside from it. And then there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of trauma. So I feel like this message is talking about a trauma response that another shows in us of how we engage in relationship that isn't healthy, that can really create this shadow wound, this trauma that comes about, and all sorts of emotions. And we're not sure, like, why all of a sudden am I feeling overwhelmed, attachment, or avoidant, or fear of being enmeshed, or fear of losing out, whatever the thing is. Okay, so Spirit is talking about compassion here and loyalty here. I feel like there's a need to really be compassionate throughout this process, and be loyal throughout this process. Yes, to yourself, but also it's like when we hold this higher vibration of understanding, when we're able to see what it is that we're going through from a higher perspective or understanding, it gives us a little bit more ease, you know? It allows us to sort of stop any energy that might be auto-firing with a mind of its own when we're acting from shadow, when we're getting completely confused, when we feel like maybe the wool's being pulled from my eyes, or I'm being deceived, or again, the 7-sword energy, self-sabotaging, because we might see the other self-sabotaging, but it's like both of these energies I talked about are sabotaging in their own form, because they're both sort of acting from their own in shadow. But I feel like there's an experience of seeing and learning through this process. And so I feel like both people want some form of ability to come together without one losing the independence, or one in a healthy way that allows one to be independent and share, you know, without feeling like I feel like one might feel very isolated, might feel very lonely or misunderstood, or wanting appreciation, wanting validation, wanting some form of action, and then feeling like unfulfilled, or confused, or abandoned, or left abruptly in some way. And it's like waiting for another to bring it in or to show it. It's like, no, the value is always there. It doesn't come when someone shows it and then gets removed when someone leaves. And it's like having to see this through this illusion, having to understand through this whole thing. This is an egoic belief. It's a deceptive trick that the shadow plays, or that the ego plays, you know, about our own self-worth and what it means when we're in connection, and what it means, you know, to really sort of be appreciated and loved, and have loyalty and friends. And then it turns on us, and it creates that very friend into foe, challenge, heaviness, burden, painful. It's like, how could something that feels like friend feel like foe, feel like friend, foe, you know? It's like, what is the truth? Am I being deceived? I'm so confused. I don't know. Let me just, like, instead of being confused, like cut this situation off. And it's saying the only thing we need to cut off is the illusion and the understanding of how the shadow works. And we're cutting off the head to this rooster, which means the egoic persona that drives the show, the one that's yapping, because with the rooster's head cut off, it can't cock-a-doodle-doo, you know? It's like it can't chirp and make noise, because we know that the ego's noise is always one of making a narrative, making a story that isn't necessarily true. And it's trying to get us to defend ourselves, protect ourselves. This is a threat. This person is a threat. This whole thing is this or that. And then we act and react because it intensifies the feeling. Okay, but then the ego can work in the opposite way and be like, okay, this feels good. Now this feels good. And the ego attaches to that and wants to create more of that sort of situation and believes some sort of illusion that it created it in the first place, that it was externally sort of given to it. And so that's the only world that the ego sort of knows. And they're saying there's another way, is to be very conscious and out of this fog and out of this whole thing, and to remove the ego altogether here. So the head of the rooster's chopped off, like I said. The rooster, when a cock-a-doodle-doos, is talking about an awakening. You know, when you wake up, I feel like we're still not fully awakened here. We're working through an awakening. And we're slowly starting to see. We're starting to see bits of truth. We're starting to see, like, things maybe as they really are for the first time, but there's still a lot of fog. There's still a lot of old patterns. There's still a lot of mixed emotions. There's still a lot of shadow here. But some of the shadow now has come to light and is still maybe trying to take the driver's seat. So I feel like for this message, we're being shown, given new information, new wisdom, new experience. I feel like you're walking a path. I do feel it's with another, with a mirror reflection. Okay, and I do feel like we could get an experience that doesn't feel very good with this dragon here, which could be like really intense. Okay, and then the whip is intensity as well. Like an intense experience here of burden, or an intense experience could even be like dark night of the soul, heavy confusion, you know, like really feeling very deceptive, feeling maybe tricked, and this sort of a thing. And Spirit is saying it might feel this way, but we'll see the truth. And the transmutation, I feel here, is the energy of seeing through this and putting an end to that which chirps, or that in which is distracting, that in which is the illusion of the ego. Yeah, and I feel like this is what's being revealed. And why I say the transmutation is because, like, the fire talks of transmutation, and this dragon breathes this fire, so it's transmute the energy. I feel like there is a union here for sure that feels very beautiful, that can easily be triggered, that can easily fall into suffering as easily as it could fall into love, you know? That's what it shows here. And it's these two energies that are sort of finding a way to coincide together. And so the hyper-independent person, potentially, this cat person, this independent person, this person who might be fearing losing their freedom, might be really stuck in their mind. This shadow understanding of connection has me terrified of losing myself, getting sort of stuck to another here. And it's like I feel all sorts of ways about this, you know? And it's like, can we see through the illusion? That the great fear here is some belief that we have that is actually not necessarily clear. We're not thinking clearly. And I'm being asked to sort of see through this deceptive understanding, put an end to this deceptive understanding, because this is the burden, this is the heaviness. That true connection requires appreciation, giving and receiving love, loyalty, commitment, dedication. That's a truth. Everything else of when I commit, dedicate, and thing, I lose myself, or I can't be independent, or all of that other stuff is this trauma, is this ego chirping about something here. So I feel like whoever that is that I'm reading here, because like I said, two owls, I feel like we've chopped the head off of that noise, which is great. It's been seen through. But it still has its ghost. It still has its, you know, it still appears as sort of its pattern in some way. But I feel like we're aware, we're seeing it, we're understanding it differently, we're reviewing it, and we're not wanting to repeat pain. We're not wanting to create division. We're finally shattering through this illusion in a way here. And so we might be revisiting something, someone, this experience could come in with a different energy. So that's good. You know, that's good. Yeah. So You might be getting a message here. You might be having a long, in-depth talk about someone's fears, about how someone might have been feeling insecure, or about how their emotions might be reacting in certain ways that they're coming to realize, or that they're saying, I don't know, something of awareness is going on here, something of how it's made me react or has made me respond. It might have created tension, might have created burden, might have created confusion. And it's like, I'm here to sort of acknowledge this, you know? I'm here to make peace. I'm here to balance things out. I'm here to say I'm still figuring through this. I can see certain things. I understand certain things, but there's things I still don't see or understand. There's still part of this that I want to learn or see that I still am working through. And then Spirit is saying, like, can we show compassion to other and to ourselves? Can we forgive one another and show grace and be able to sort of understand from the lens that we, even though we might have two different sort of trauma responses or understandings of connection, that we are all one and the same, and we all handle our fears differently and come from that understanding. Because I feel like there's two souls sort of understanding each other based on experience here and based on new knowledge that gets presented or seen here or transmuted in a way here. So we could really develop a good sort of foundation of trust when it comes to loyalty, respect, appreciation, honor. This is like, I understand your suffering. I understand the heaviness that you might have carried, or the why you wore a mask, or how this sort of energy might have been controlling your understanding, or even your own actions as a sabotager, or as someone who needed to be strategically independent, or create all sorts of smoke and mirrors here, you know, in order to prevent maybe becoming wounded or burdened. Yeah. Okay, so beautiful angel. I do see strong Gemini energy here. Yeah, and Capricorn. That's the bulk of the energy that I see coming through here. A little bit of Aries, a little bit of Virgo, but yeah. So this is your reading. I hope this helped you. I'll see you at the next one. All right, bye-bye. Hello, pile number 3. You guys picked this couple over here. Gorgeous. Let's tap into what message you're being told by the divine at this time, whatever you're needing to hear. I have pre-shuffled oracle cards. I've not looked at these. And I asked Spirit, what is it that pile 3 needs to hear right here, right now, in regards to their current energy, situation, circumstance, whatever pulls through here. Okay, as sort of a need to know. And then we have the Lenormand deck, which I will be doing a 9-card tableau spread for you, and then channel what comes through. So let's take a look. We have the Dancer, and she looks like she's made of porcelain here. 13, Scorpio energy. Looks like Spanish dancing. Okay, and then we have Family Room with 21. Looks cozy. Beautiful energy so far. We have Reassess. You're being asked to take stock of your life and let go of anything or anyone that no longer makes you happy. Notice who and what brings you joy and who and what don't. It's time for some cleanup. Well, this room looks really clean, and this is like dance like nobody's watching. Live, laugh, dance. Okay, and then we have Inbox, 0 hero. Inbox, 0 hero. So being sort of, I don't know, like disconnected from our network of people. It looks like there's so many messages piling up here, but it's inbox 0 here. And it's like, I don't need to react or respond to everyone or everything except looking out there into the distance. Maybe we're reassessing who we communicate with or who adds clutter or heaviness to our world. Look at this image or picture in the background is looking like this dancer. And then there's another one here. She has a hat. It's looking like the privileged lady in this deck. Okay, let's keep going. We have vigilance. Wow. So yeah, reassessing here is definitely vigilance, you know. Where can I step without sort of putting myself in danger? Spider. Creativity. More Scorpio energy, 41 and 5. And then we have, whoa, the twins. Look at these two conjoined. Oops, I guess I can't show bums. Conjoined twins. Like, can I show you they're conjoined? Yeah, they have like 11 here. Wow. Gemini energy. The twins. Okay. And then we have lover. And he looks like he's serenading in the promenade. His poofy pants and his yellow tights. That's funny. Okay. But then we have the asylum. Crazy house. I just heard I go crazy, crazy for you. For his Aries energy. Okay. And then we have a Lord. Look at this guy. The Lord. Lord Farquaad from Shrek. Lover Lord? Wow. Okay. All right. And then we have 8 of spades, which is the 8 swords. And we have a bed here, which looks like a bed that belongs in an insane asylum here. Bed could talk about rest. 8 swords definitely talks about self-imprisonment based on our own beliefs and limitations. And getting sort of a 4 sword energy too, like in needing to rest or recoup or something like this. Okay, let's pull the Lenormand cards and see. Spirit, pile number 3. What is this message? I have twins, and then we have these 2 people here as well. What is this message for pile number 3? Please help me to channel this in a way pile 3 will understand what's being communicated, what it is that they're needing to know and understand right here, right now, for their greatest and highest good. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good. Thank you, pile number 3. I'd like to thank your higher self, spirit team, spirit guides, ancestors, angels, interdimensional beings, and of course, spirit for this act of divination. Thank you so, so much. What is it that pile number 3 is being called to understand, see, hear, reflect on, review, know? Okay. The whip. Challenging situations. Feeling maybe burdened, oppressed. However we do so could be like a 10 wand energy. Okay. And then we feel a message. We see a message here coming by a dove. 27. Doves talk about peace and harmony. Forgiveness. Messages could be coming through in way of text, email, communication, but usually a formal letter here. Okay, the dog came out on all three piles. Friendship, camaraderie, loyalty. Yeah, okay. And then we have the coffin. But this is like preserving something here. Something's preserved. But the coffin is talking about an ending. Okay. And then we have another ending card. This is abrupt ending, putting an end to something suddenly sort of stopping. Another 10. This is feeling 10 of wands here. I was feeling like the coffin, or this is the coffin, which is about endings, and 10 here. 10, 10, 10. You might be seeing 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0 binary. Just kind of this twin energy. Yeah. And then we have this tree. The number 5. Look at the 2 bunnies. 2 again. Trees are all about health. Could be about family, stability. Health is coming through with this bed as well. Ancestors, security, wealth, fertility, even with these bunnies here. Yeah, okay. And then we have the woman. Came out for pile 1. This could be divine feminine. The main woman, the mother figure. Could be your energy. And then we have the stars. Aquarius energy 16. So dreams, vision, stardom, hopes. Look at a cat sitting here. And then we have the tower. So the tower in this deck could talk about feeling isolated, alone, a need for solitude. It could talk about isolation, but it can also talk about corporations, institutions, and that sort of a thing. Okay, so let's sit here with this energy and see what your message is about. Pile number 3. I feel like you've been in a energy here that feels very like going it alone, you know? Could be a period even of depression, heaviness, sadness. It could be that you're experiencing a loss of like a friend, a lover, or even like discouragement here, because maybe what once was comforting no longer feels comforting or has been. Things are definitely on high alert here for you in regards to it's being at a point where you're really looking at, with this reassess, like what's in my best interest here. Like I think there's a lot of understanding that your health might take a toll. Mental health, emotional health, spiritual health. If you don't start to sort of maybe make shifts and changes or clean up certain things in your world, which means removing certain people, maybe even certain baggage that's been there that hasn't really helped, you know, is sort of like there as like a, I don't know if it's like, oh, I'll just hang on to these pictures or these letters or these memories or these, again, this could be energy around you, you know. It's like it's more weighing me down than helping me in this present moment. And so this could be someone around you for sure. And usually I channel that 6 cups in reverse energy that comes through here. And it could be because it's like what I experienced had an impact on me. it's created something of me that's maybe a weaker version of me, or maybe a tired version of me, or maybe a disappointed version of me, or maybe a perversion of me, perversion of me, a version of me that is like believing certain things about myself that aren't necessarily true. And then I feel stuck. And then I feel like I'm going nutty or batty, or just like I'm really limited to that. And then I'm like stuck with those thoughts and capabilities, and it like dictates my moves. It determines what I can and cannot do. It makes me feel disempowered. It makes me feel like me and that experience are like sort of one and the same, or like I'm stuck to that experience, and then it's created a dysfunctional thought, and I can't sever myself from that experience or that belief or that memory or that experience. And so it's made me sort of hyper vigilant or really careful, maybe so much so that it's like really dictating how I'm building this thing or trusting this thing. You know, like if I'm walking defensively, really on high alert, it being very vigilant, but then I'm also creating maybe toxin here, you know, like I could become very poisonous here. I could become like I'm the one that's creating my environment. I'm the one that's empowered to make something here. I feel like there's a version of what you want to experience that's like cleaned up, but it's like I got to clean up my act. I want to be free of the burdens of the past. I want to be able to experience myself in a different way that isn't from the lens of the burdens of the past. And it feels like whatever has happened in the past, I'm seeing the resin card, which is like it got sort of even this like this sarcophagus, it's like it got embodied, embalmed in the state in which it's at. It's time to sort of let it go so that the new life or the healthy part can grow. The abundance can be seen, because what's dead is sort of can't do anything. It's like frozen, it's dead, it's stuck. So there seems to be this like need to cut this part off. And this is the weight, this is the burden, you know? And so I don't know if you feel like there's an opportunity that comes in. It's like I have an opportunity to find peace within this. I have an opportunity to maybe find a new friendship or camaraderie or this cleaner world, if you will, or, you know, like less baggage, less clutter, maybe less of what it is that I have experienced in the past, and more of that in which I dream of. Because we might be seeing like this a need to sort of self-protect, which was a form of vigilance, a form of, you know, like I said, the spider can like bite and protect itself, but it's like it could get lonely here in this tower, shutting everyone out or having to be so vigilant or protecting of oneself, and maybe locking oneself up here and saying, well, at least I'm safe, at least I'm protected, at least, you know. But it's like, I don't know, there does seem to be an opportunity here, an invitation here to welcome something different that does feel very good. It feels good. It feels freeing. It feels clean. It feels healthy. It feels loving. It feels trustworthy. And it's like serenading you or inviting you or like calling to you. And it's like allowing you to see what your power still is, because I don't feel it's like making you feel like it's going to strip your power, like you're not in control to engage. And so I feel it's giving you an opportunity to come out and take a look, you know? Because I feel like maybe in the past you've turned down any threatening opportunity as a result of what was experienced in the past and disregarded it as a way to sort of maintain one's sanity or one's own position. And I think there's a lot of bones of the past or things that we need to bury here, or have been trying to bury. And if this is someone that you're dealing with, it's like this person is really tied to the dysfunctional experience of the past, that they believe that that was sort of who they are or what they're about, and it's limiting their ability to believe differently in themselves, or to, you know, like bury this thing so they can present themselves that isn't hurtful, or creating maybe I don't know, like this isolated energy of like no one sort of can connect or understand, or like I can't even communicate sort of back or acknowledge any communication here. It's sort of like it goes right through this person in some way. And it's like, maybe you've been trying to, like, I know I just switched it on you, but you could be trying to, like, you know, like wake up this person, or like show them this serenade, like love is here. You don't gotta be alone. You don't gotta shut me out. Like I'm inviting you out. I'm part of this, like, truthful, loyal family, soul family to you, but you know, like there's fun over here, and especially with the two, like, yeah, like there's fun over here, or put this behind you. So I feel like what Spirit is talking about is really an opportunity here to find friendship, to find trust, to find healthy, loyal friend in another friendships, dynamics, relationships, where one doesn't have to go it alone, where the past doesn't define one's own decisions or feelings of doubt in themselves or disappointments in others, choosing to stay isolated or removed because this is the only comfort I can find, and to be sort of exposed or to wander outside of this could lead me to be threatened in some way. It's like, this is an old system that's no longer going to support, you know, like this hypervigilance, to be so cautious, and like even the prehistoric pterodactyls flying around here. It's like the old dinosaur way of thinking, but it's like, oh, I'm surrounded here by this water, and the water could represent like emotions, and like having to like leave this tower and maybe experience something that might seem overwhelming, you know, but it's like, look how beautiful it is. Abundance, health. It's like I can only dream or envision this in the distant future of what I wish to experience or want to experience, you know? And I think it's just talking about like putting an end to any past oppressive, stuck energy that's been dictating your ability to respond, communicate, and even dance with the opportunity of an invitation to shift your life, and to maybe like engage differently here. Like, it's safe to do so. It's now is the time. You don't have to put it out to the distant sort of future here. You're not alone. There's fertility here to be had. There's an understanding. And really like understanding what our own mindset of the past is doing, or how it might be seeping into one's decisions to just fall back in the no, I won't, or I'll shut down, or be defensive, or not communicate something, or not respond in some way. So I think you might be getting a communication, an invitation, you know, to engage in a either as an event, a relationship, an opportunity, that it can really grow to be something very stable here. It's like the door to your freedom, escape the asylum, leave the comfort zone. And like really like know that you have this power to make this decision and to really sort of not see it maybe from the eyes of like having to protect and be super hyper vigilant, but I'm going to like reassess how I've been sort of deciding and what I have been doing and choosing, and whether I've been feeling more isolated and heavy and burdened and alone here, or have I been feeling free and abundant and understood and liberated and feel like my environment and my soul family has been something I've been welcoming in my world rather than sort of shutting out. That I feel free here to express myself or just to be myself. Yeah. So pile 3, I mean, the message is fairly clear and what's going on here. Maybe there's a big shift in how you're sort of seeing your past and how it's impacted you, or how someone else you're involved with and their past is impacting their reaction or response or lack thereof, or shutting you out or something like this. Okay, pile 3, this is your reading. I hope this helped you. I'll see you at the next one. All right, bye-bye.